Hello and welcome to video number 8. We're going to talk about software and how to create lead magnets for this particular medium. So it really doesn't matter if it's a Windows or Mac computer piece of software or an online web application. This pretty much applies to all of them. So as far as lead magnets go, you could create trials being the part of the whole method. So you could have a trial, you could have a demo, or you could have a trial period, such as you could have a demo that doesn't necessarily allow somebody to use the full functionality of the software, or you could have a trial to allow them to use the full function of the software so that they really can see the potential use, as long as it's an ongoing use. If it's kind of like a one-time thing and they only have to do it once and then that's it, you might not want to offer the trial. So you really need to think about your situation. But if it's something that they're going to use over and over and over again, whether it means like every month, or quarterly or whatever, or every week, you might want to offer just the ability to use the software for a short amount of time. Now, obviously, you're going to need to have the ability to create a trial. And there are many softwares out there. I'm not going to specify one particular one because I don't really know what kind of medium you are using. Because if you're using like online software and your software is like PHP based or whatever, then it's going to be a whole different avenue versus somebody who is selling, Windows based software. So what I would do is I would go to Google, I would research trial making software, and then I would add Windows, Mac, or even online PHP or something. So that way you get something very specific for you. You can also use reports related to a solution but provide a long, tedious process. Here's what I mean by that. As you know, software tends to speed things up, right? So for example, going back to the bookkeeping software example, we all know that when it comes to bookkeeping, trying to figure out, how much revenue you made, how much profit you made, what is your expenses, what are your things like that, then that is very tedious. But maybe you found a way to, speed things up, make it more efficient, but you can provide a report on that. Now, you're not necessarily giving away all your secrets because you're ultimately trying to sell your software, right? So in this case, what I could do is I could say, hey, we know that bookkeeping is a very time-consuming process. Here's one way to kind of speed up the process. So you're kind of pushing them towards that mentality of, okay, I want to speed this up, right? So you show them maybe an Excel spreadsheet that you've created that will help speed things up. But it only speeds it up by 10%. After they've downloaded that freebie, they're thinking, okay, wow, I sped my, this up. I saved a lot of time. But then after that, they're presented with a piece of software that speeds it up by 90%. And they're thinking, wow, okay, you gave this away for free. That's really nice of you. This helped me saved about 10%, but hey, I get to use a software that speeds it up 99%. Hey, I'm going to go towards that. So you're trying to gradually grab them into the mindset of, hey, I can speed this process up. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you can use. Just make sure that the report contains perhaps screenshots or anything that will help somebody who is kinesthetic and visual and auditory at the same time. So if you can actually help all three of these learning styles, you will create yourself a more high converting type report that can use to sell your software. Another different option for lead magnet is case studies of the software in action or the end result. So you can provide somebody with a case study via it be video or PDF file or report or something short to allow them to see that somebody else is using your software. They're given testimonials, they're given what happened when they use the bookkeeping software. Hey, it sped up my process. I used to be spending, you could do a case study where someone would say, I used to be spending like $2,000 a month or even $500 a month to get somebody to do bookkeeping. Now I can pay $30 a month to use this software, and it automates everything. And it saves me, a couple $1,000s per year. So those case studies are valuable because it tells your prospect, hey, somebody else tried this out and then they were able to be successful. So that's really what you want to get them into, that kind of mindset, to be able to see the end result. And then, of course, you can talk about another thing is the top 10 or top 5 competing softwares and compare them. And, talk about the advantages of both, the disadvantages of both. And sometimes you can't really put that on your sales page. You got to go into detail. So maybe you've tried it out. Instead of just comparing it, maybe you tried it out and tested it for yourself and found actual case studies. Because people really want to know at the end of the day, is this going to work for me? If it works for other people, we want to know about it and things like that. All right. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is services.